Okay. Welcome to 6G Agenda. I'm your host, Andrew. As always, I'm here today solo, though. I'll be rocking it by myself. We got a cool deep dive on the book club, The Old Pale Horse. We're going to end it off with a bang. So I'm going to get that started here in a second. Welcome. Got some bangers upstairs. Pardon me. Okay. So I do have some things to reference. We're going to kind of be in a few spots. Before we get to starting on the Learned Elders of Zion in Bill Cooper's book, I'm going to start with kind of the history of the document itself, right? So we'll kind of get into that first, lay that out. What is it? And then we'll go from there. And we'll I think that he's even got the actual document in the book as well. So we'll probably be reading right out of that. It'll be a good time. It's definitely going to be a little controversial. It's a controversial document. It is, I will say, right off the bat, it is considered a forgery. Just allegedly, it's definitely allegedly considered a forgery. So we're going to get down to more of just I guess, what it's saying and not really put too much on, like, is this real? Is it not? That's not really the point. What is it saying? Do you see anything mirrored today? That's about it. A little critical thinking. So outside of that, check our description below the show whenever you're done, if you'd like, or actually skip all that. Go to 6gagenda.com and you can join our premium. If you're on your phone, it'll be a little trickier, but we'll get that button on there as well. But yeah, go check out our website, 6gagenda.com. You can follow our socials from there. And then on our show description, we will have the links for if you want to join premium or donate or anything like that. But yeah, so we're going to get into the ending of this Bill Cooper Behold a Pale Horse series. And we got to end with the the chapter that was taken out of the book. If you're not familiar with the fact that this chapter was taken out, it's a very controversial chapter because they don't want people espousing disinformation. So the learned elders, we're going to call it by what it really is called, the protocols of the meeting of the learned elders of Zion. So that is the name of the document. If you were to go on the FBI website, you can find it, and that is what it says. And it was removed from Behold a Pale Horse. As I said, it's kind of similar to any Agenda 2030 document you may have seen, any globalist organization. It's not, back then it was crazy to talk about what's in this document, but now we're kind of used to seeing things very similar. So like I said, it's just like any Agenda 2030, Agenda 2025, just like any of those documents you've already seen about sustainability. And so Zionism, the fact that that is the subject of this particular document, is the reason why it's hidden. And so it was a draft document for Zionist conspiracy for world domination, allegedly. And as I said, there was nothing new. It was kind of dismissed as crazy. It matches all open conspiracies as we've talked about on here. And these documents were written by Russian secret police. Dude, Russian secret police made the Zionist protocols. And so the reason why that matters is that, of course, the communistic secret police propaganda aspect of it, where they kind of lied about a lot of other things. So it's kind of important. But Bill Cooper kind of gets into, I'm going to share this screen. We'll get into the Bill Cooper Zion chapter. So let me go ahead and get this up here. 2 seconds. So the protocols of the wise men of Zion. The protocols of Zion were referred to in the late 1700s. As I said, this is a forgery, but we're going to just kind of look at it and see if it, let's just check it out. Maybe there's something there. The first copy available to public scrutiny surfaced in the late 1800s. Every aspect of this plan is subjugated to the world, has since become reality, validating the authenticity of the conspiracy. Now, this is Bill Cooper's words, and, we're going to find out if he's right. So here is the Britain's translation of the complete text of the notorious Protocols of Zion. So he does have the actual document right here where you can actually read it. So, putting aside fine phrases, we shall speak of the significance of each thought. So it starts to talk about a system from 2 points of view, and that of the Goyim, the non-Jews. And it must be noted that men with bad instincts are more in number than the ones with good instincts. And therefore, the best result is governing them are attained by violence and terrorization, which is, I mean, not academic discussion. Every man aims at power. Everyone would like to become a dictator. So they just kind of assume everybody's shitty. But what restrains the beasts of prey who are all called men? Wow. See, the beast of prey part is kind of funny because the beast of burden by choice is something that you'll hear a lot from Freemasons. And so people like to act like Freemasons don't have any, they're just a good brotherhood. Well, they talk about beast of burden, how people don't know how to use their intelligence except for them. If you're not pretty much worshiping the god of, the Lucifer, the god of light, whatever, your intellect, then you're nothing. And that's quotes that they've said. And it sounds just like this. So in the beginning of the structure of society, they were subjugated to brutal and blind force, afterwards to law, which is the same force only disguised. They draw the conclusion that by the law of nature, right lies in force. So political freedom is an idea, but not a fact. And this idea, one must know how to apply whenever it appears necessary. For the purpose of crushing another who is in authority, this task is rendered easier, for the opponent has himself been infected with the idea of freedom. Wow, the idea of freedom, he's infected with it. And so-called liberalism, in the sake of an idea. Wow. So they just, it's so funny because you know what they use is liberalism in order to demoralize the society. It's that projection that they do. 100%. So it is precisely here that the triumph of our theory appears. The slackened reins of government are immediately, by the law of life, caught up and gathered together by a new hand. So they're saying that they are going to take over, and because the blind mind of the nation cannot for one single day exist without guidance, and the new authority merely fits into the place of an old, already weakened by liberalism. See, so they know the power of weakening a society by liberalism due to history, and so they used it as a weapon in America, and here we are today. And in our power, which has replaced that of the rulers who are liberal, is the power of the gold. Time was when faith. Yeah, let's get down here. Time was when faith ruled. The idea of freedom is impossible of realization because no one knows how to use it with moderation. So people like to be too free. Therefore, freedom is impossible to have. And whether a state exhausts itself in its own convulsions, whether its internal discord brings it under the power of external foes, in any case, it can be accounted irretrievably lost. It is in our power. The despotism of capital, which is entirely in our hands, reaches out to the straw of the state. Should anyone in the liberal... I just trying to get to the important parts here because you already know this shit's long and full of bullshit. Our right lies in force. The word right is an abstract thought and proved by nothing. This is very much there is no good, there is no evil. The word right is an abstract thought and proved by nothing. The word means no more than give me what I want in order that thereby I have a proof that I am stronger than you. This reminds me of people that read the Talmud a lot, and then they're like, let's fucking apply this to everything in life. 100%. And the reason why this kind of matters a little bit is just because if there are the people that, worship the state of Zionism, and this is real to an extent, I believe that this was probably discredited. It was a document that was discredited by the people who wrote it on purpose. It doesn't seem to me like some kind of joke or play. I know that I've read somewhere that that's kind of what it was. But, I mean, it gets pretty dark. In all the corners of the earth, the words liberty, equality, and fraternity brought to our ranks thanks to our blind agents, who the whole legions who bore our banners with enthusiasm. Now that reminds me more of like Freemasonic societies and others. Oh, here we go. All the times these were cankerworms at work, boring into the well-being of the Goyim, putting an end everywhere to peace, quiet, solidarity, and destroying all the foundations of the Goy states. As you will see later, this helped us to our triumph. It gave us the possibility, among other things, of getting into our hands the MasterCard. The destruction of privileges, and in other words, if the very existence of the aristocracy of the Goyim, that class which was the only defense people and countries had against us. Educated class headed by the aristocracy and money, the qualification. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is one of those you're gonna have to read on your own. There's no, this is a deep one because there's like, I believe, I don't know, maybe like 80 pages or some shit. Let's look at this though. It is indispensable for us to take account of the thoughts, characters, tendencies of the nations in order to avoid making slips in the political and the direction of administrative affairs. The triumph of our system, of which the component parts of the machinery may be variously temperament and people on our way. Anyway, will fail of the success if the practical applications not based on summing up of lessons of the light. Dude, they really just put word slop in here on purpose. I guarantee it. That's a big part of it. What's up? What's up? What's up, Net? This is a one of those that I'm not going to commit to reading through because it's outrageous. But I will posit this. There's a lot of bullshit in here, but there's a lot of real shit in here. And the forgery aspect of it is definitely put there to discredit the idea that anybody would even think these things. Because it's definitely, somebody thought all this shit to write it. And that's the problem. But yeah, this is one of those that you're going to have to find the PDF for because it is a lot. And it's not really, I don't even think it's worth the read. Because we see what they're doing today. And I think that what we could show is instead their works, you'll know them by their fruits. You got this on Audible now in PDF. Yeah, Net and Wet. Here's the thing. They're not going to have this Protocols of Zion chapter in there. I don't know if it's worth even reading, honestly. It's a bunch of word slop from what I could tell. But the gist of it is the Jews look at us as Goyim and they're going to take over the world essentially and, treat it slop, give us a bunch of bullshit. I'm trying to play it for you. But yeah, they're, give us slop, give us a bunch of bullshit. I don't know if like take McDonald's, for instance, because they've said things like, we're going to keep them fed and keep them full of carbs, right? But they're going to be starving. And that's like, if you think of McDonald's and Haagen-Dazs is owned by like, the same type of clan, that chapter is gone out of the book. You will not be able to get it unless you get an old edition of the book because it was removed because of what it's about. And it's the idea that he's positing that it's a real conspiracy for Jews to take over the world. Now, I'm not saying that it is or isn't, but I'll say this. I think it was discredited on purpose, and it was probably not necessarily a forgery. But yeah, it's very crazy. So the thing is, if you look back at like Pale Settlement, the czars and everything else, they were boycotting them from using business and everything else. And I think that the Bolsheviks was probably a huge kind of comeback from that. Yeah, definitely. Shout out Bill Cooper. So let's look here. What else we got here? So globalism is the rebranding of the same group that we're kind of looking at here. And so Big Brother, the super spy state, sees everything you do, etc., happens to be owned by the same learned elders, let's call them. And people like Oracle, Palantir, companies like that are the big brother system, and we're already walking into it. And that's kind of what we're getting at there. Hold on here. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Cool. Anyway, yeah, so the big brother system is owned by Israel, and so that's kind of the thing that we're worried about here. So it is the elders of Zion, whatever you want to call them. I believe that it's been rebranded as the globalist state and the Bilderberg Group, etc. Who's a part of the Bilderberg Group? Peter Thiel. And so whenever you think about shit like that, it's like, all right, well, they have taken over the system. Let's get to what I wanted to show you to prove that. And that is going to be right here on Instagram. Let me go ahead and pull that up and I'll show you. It is actually crazy. All right, let's get you on here. Hold up. How the fuck? I'm trying to get the sound on here, but this one's here. Let me click out of it. We're going to have to read it. I'll read it too. Top 5 dark plans for the future. Larry Ellison. Surveillance. We're reporting everything everyone's doing. Vaccine. A design for a vaccine for every individual, the mRNA vaccines. You can make it robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours. So it's a customizable vaccine. AI governance. The first thing a country needs to do is unify all of its data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. We provide context when we want to ask a question. We've already provided that the AI model with all the data it needs to understand our country. And then Israel, here we go, number 2. I showed this on another show. It's where he pretty much talks about his love for Israel. And then number 1 for his top 5 dark plans is data. Long before the NSA was collecting data, and let me tell you, whatever, Bank of America, American Express, and all these banking companies, all of your credit card data, all of your financial records have been stored, I would assume. So anyway, this guy's kind of taking over everything, and this is a very big Israeli beholden guy. This next one should hopefully let me actually play sound. We'll see. I've never had it. Okay, so I don't use Instagram. I'm gonna email it to myself another time, but it doesn't matter because I have another one over here. This one's great. So why
not engaging to degrees and levels we should be?
I have met a lot of October 8th Jews who, for whom the massacre on October 7th was a wake-up call. I've met a lot of people who feel much more galvanized, much more organized. But that will only be sustained if we offer them, ways to participate in a real and robust way in Jewish life.
Mm-hmm. And whose responsibility is that?
All of ours. Yeah. But this is why we need a revolution in our community on so many levels. So look, the reality is that intermarriage rates continue to go up. Assimilation continues apace.
Intermarriage and assimilation is the 2 problems he's talking about. So just so you know, I mean, they were kicked out of a lot of places for not assimilating and things like that. And it's funny because the ones who push the liberal intermarriage and everything are the ones who are actually saying it's bad for them to do. It's very crazy. But yeah, it's very nuts. So there's just a little backup for the fact that they are, same people taking over. We're at the point now where the protocols might be coming to fruition. Bill Cooper, man, he was on point with all that shit, dude. So, as I said, these companies like Palantir and everything, you have something called the Palantir Mafia, right? And so the Palantir Mafia is pretty much all these little startup companies that are having people like engineers from Palantir go there and help start it up. So let's look at that. Palantir Mafia behind Silicon Valley hottest startups. So they're going, it's kind of like Gideon, where we talked about that before. They said how Gideon has had engineers from Palantir come and start it, and we can predictively police, people and predict whether they are going to commit a crime or shoot up a school before they do it. They announced this the day that trans shooter happened. at the Catholic school. And so that kind of perked my ears up. And then we're looking at this. The founders lean on their ex-Palantir executives and engineer for support and financing for all these startups in Silicon Valley. And so Palantir, the data analysis firm co-founded by Peter Thiel, is best known as the rare Silicon Valley company that works with the U.S. military and intelligence agencies, including with Trump's administration immigration crackdown. Isn't that great? So they admit it right there. They're working with the administration on the ICE crackdown. I mean, obviously you've heard that, but they're admitting it there. In conversation, alumni will refer to themselves as the Palantir Mafia, the invitation to a panel last October. And so the same guy who's talking about the Antichrist is pretty much running all these companies. And the other guy who's with him is Alex Karp, a very, very big Israel first guy. So VC venture capital interest in the Palantir Mafia has increased in the past few years, but it's been frenetic this last year. They're just starting exceptional companies in hard industries. Forward deployed engineering is what glorified term for consulting. So that's what they're doing. Forward deployed engineering. But I don't think it's just consulting. I think that they're putting military data collected equipment, like all the shit that they need to build this technocratic system, as we talk about here. So that's kind of what we're looking at. This is the same document from 1903 that the Protocols of Zion that you were asking and what. So yes, it is. Let's see here if we missed anything. Coup de France, lessons from Lithuania, anatomy of alliance. We could finish this one more time because this is a great one. Let's see what we got here. Oh shit. We're good. Bill Cooper, Behold the Pale Horse is done. I did order a Tragedy and Hope. I think we may hack around on that a little bit, but for the most part, I think we'll be checking out Secret Teachings of All Ages 2 as well. I believe Palantir is a private company, or did they switch over? Is Palantir private still? Can you invest in it? Because I know that it was a private company because it had military contracts, or it was military based. Yeah, because Total Information Awareness is Palantir. Because, also, let me get to that. So Alex Karp, super Zionist who thinks he's superior to others and calls Palestinian children of darkness. Unit 8200 has been working with Microsoft without their knowing, trying to take all their data from them so they can build like a backdoor system. And that is a venture capitalist Israeli company or Israeli spyware organization that works very closely with Palantir. And again, they're the ones building this whole system. So it's something to definitely worry and research into. Unit 8200, let me find this. So if you remember, Pete Hegseth came out and said that Microsoft has been hacked by China. Well, that's because Microsoft cut Unit 8200 off because of the situation with Gaza and what they were doing. And I guess the idea is that they're trying to say we just found out. But I think that they knew the whole time. But now they're saying that they don't provide technology enabling mass surveillance of civilians. So that's what was being done with their technology. They say we don't agree with it, so they cut them off. They've long worked with Microsoft, not only in cloud computing, but also in IT systems, enterprise software, and cybersecurity and development tools. Microsoft operates major research and development centers in Israel, particularly 8200. So Unit 8200, if you don't know, Kash Patel, his girlfriend, I think she's a part of that. And so Unit 8200 has its hands into, well, let's see how much it talks about. Shifting to another cloud provider, reportedly Amazon's web services will require time and technical effort, but analysis says it's unlikely to paralyze Unit 8200's intelligence gathering capabilities in the short term. So they must be working with them as well. And I wonder if that cloud shit had anything to do with Israel. I'm telling you, dude, that AWS cloud shit probably had something going on. It's crazy. Here, hold on, my bad. I just realized. Let me go back to this for you. My bad, guys. So let's check this out. Microsoft cuts Unit 8200 off its cloud AI services. That's everything I was reading. But yeah, down here it talks about IDF and defense military have long worked with Microsoft and IDF, particularly Unit 8200. If you don't know, they put $100 million into Israel, and then boom, you got Silicon Valley pretty much over in Tel Aviv. They got like their own Silicon Valley. They know how to get back doors into our shit too, if you know anything about Prism with Robert Maxwell. But total information awareness, let's see if we can find anything about how it became Palantir. Just so I could show you guys, because I bring that up a lot, but let's pull that up. Total information awareness. So they're trying to separate them, I think. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's just put connection, because, it'll just tell you. AI will tell you the truth every time, right? Key figure connecting both programs was Alan Wade, the CIA's chief information officer, who participated in the TIA development and later facilitated both In-Q-Tel's investment in Palantir and the CIA's collaboration with the company. Alan Wade, huh? So this is the guy who got this started with Palantir and everything. We gotta type TIA because, all right, let's see here. Somebody's got a Substack on it. What do you think they got to say? Palantir master surveillance in pre-crime. Whitney Webb describes big tech data harvesting as American citizens and how Americans are unwillingly supporting their own demise. And that's what's going on right now. So, I don't know, man. I'm not going to. That person's got a little paywall there. Let's see. Breaking down the chain. Dude, it's really hard to figure out anything about this guy, huh? Alan Wade. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. Mr. Wade held a number of senior positions at the CIA. He is a recipient of the National Intelligence Distinguished Service Medal. Since his federal retirement, Wade has worked with several startup companies. Where does he work? Okay, so he works for a company that was acquired by McAfee. He works with Cisco. He's making money with the big companies. Having fun. That's awesome. Bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. So it doesn't have anything else, though. I mean, that's crazy. So let's see. We'll go to news. That's crazy. Nothing. Look at that. Nothing about Alex Wade. Let's see CIA, or let's just do Palantir and see if we can find anything. Nothing about him. That's crazy, dude. Well, this Alan Wade dude is just somehow it told us that they connect it, but that's it. It won't give us any information otherwise. We're just kind of researching together right now, having a little fun. Because to be honest, the Learned Elders was kind of it's exactly what we think it is. And we're going to stay adjacent to it and talk about what it is that they're doing. Because they own this, and this is what's coming. So Alan Wade, CIA, let's try that. That's crazy. Let's see. LexisNexis Special Services. Just gives like a little, it's kind of what he did. Abraxas Corporation. Look at that. Abraxas Corporation. Do you know who Abraxas is, guys? That's the Gnostic. That's the Gnostic. Let's go ahead and pull it up just so you can see. Abraxas God. Look at this. This is this is the God above all the Gnostic gods, right? It's the chicken snake god. This is the that's Abraxas. So anyway, Abraxas Corporation announces former CIA CIO Alan Wade as newest advisory board member. Awesome. He adds unique insight to our advisory board as we prepare to introduce specialized technical solutions. So these people are definitely spying on you. So what does Abraxas Corporation do? Let's see what they do. Abraxas Corporation. Let's see the profile of the company. That's crazy. I never even heard of this shit. Okay. Shit. All right. Abraxas Corporation. Let's see what this place does. We help our clients find the right server which can help in the growth of their website. Building websites. That's all they do. It's all they do. Probably get all in your computer though. Dark Trace is a pioneering. Let's see what Enway had to say. Hold on. Connected to the formation of Dark Trace. Dark Trace is a pioneering cybersecurity firm leveraging AI to provide real-time adaptive defense across the full digital landscape. Top innovator of the industry. Dark Trace, huh? Let's see what Peter Thiel's got going on with Dark Trace. Did he help invest in that? News about Dark Trace. Wait, is it Trace? Yeah. I guess we gotta do Dark Trace by itself. It's not gonna show it with Peter Thiel. It's so funny, dude. Expands active AI platform to next agent and major network security enhancements. Notorious Chinese hacking group Salt Typhoon found lurking in European comms network. See, I don't know about all these different crazy global security companies. Any cybersecurity, I just kind of don't trust because I feel like, I don't know, like look at McAfee, you know what I mean? Like who took that over whenever the dude died? Like he said he had a kill switch for the government because he hacked into their stuff, and then McAfee dies, and it's like, who's got it now? I bet you the government does. I don't trust using this shit at all. Advanced threat containment. Yeah, they're probably using Dark Trace to like, for the government, but it's not working that well. Or maybe maybe Amazon uses it and their shit still goes down. Oh, he was on the Dark Trace advisory board. Alan Wade was. My apologies. Didn't catch that. Oh, wow. Okay. So you've heard of him, huh? Dark Trace and Alan Wade. So he just kind of goes around to all these little tech companies and is like, let me go ahead and connect you to the CIA. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. How come we don't hear much about Alex Karp? What has he had to say lately? Let's see some news about Alex Karp here. You know, this crazy guy who talks about fentanyl laced urine he wants to spray on people. So Palantir just signed a deal that could shift AI power balance. Palantir may have just made the most crucial move of the year. When did this come out? A day ago. So what is it doing? Collaboration announcement with Lumen Technologies, a telecom company. Justin sent me this. It's so funny. It's called Lumen Technologies, just like Severance, which is like Bell Labs was connected with Severance. So it's almost like they're playing some kind of game here. If you're familiar, I don't know if you watched that episode about Bell Labs and our Silent Weapon 6 episode. It was all about Severance and how it connects to a real life Bell Labs, but it was called Lumen Industries, and this is called Lumen Technologies. That's hilarious. It's a telecom company, which is exactly what Bell Labs was. It was for AT&T before it was AT&T. That's crazy. This isn't a normal arrangement for infrastructure. CEO Alex Karp thinks this silent alignment might determine who sets the rules for AI and who gets left behind. And if that's the case, then we will have unregulated AI because Peter Thiel has already said that if you want to regulate AI, you are the Antichrist or you're an agent of the Antichrist. That's hilarious. So he's been warning for a long time about how AI might hurt the competitiveness of the U.S. and power the big companies. But this contract reveals that his firm is no longer happy just sounding the alarm. It's now constructing the back end. Lumen provides the pipes while Palantir provides the models. These people, dude, MSN is writing their news articles with AI. They promise real-time data transportation and large-scale interference at the edge, focusing on industries where latency is not only expensive but important. Yeah, dude. I can't believe it, dude. Like, is there any journalists anymore? Do they just do everything AI now? Or does everybody write like they're AI now? Palantir's CEO defends support of Trump, addresses claims he's gone full MAGA. Well, of course he's going full MAGA. The guy's handing him the whole country. Why wouldn't he? The Lumen deal can make AI 200 times faster. And the holy grail for businesses, he calls it. So this is the big news right now. Oh, here we go. Palantir and Anduril deals. Awesome. So we got the guy with the helmet company working with the fucking Palantir. That's awesome. The guy that's got, fighter jets that fly with nobody on them. Let's go to the Anduril news then, because that's insane. And I wonder who got the Golden Dome. Let's find out about that. What's up with the Golden Dome? Is anybody going to build the Golden Dome? This was last updated or published in April. I don't think anybody's going to do the Golden Dome. But Anduril, Palantir, and SpaceX were the ones that were probably chosen to build it if it gets built. So these are the companies we got to watch out for, dude. This guy made Oculus, gets billions of dollars at like 16, and then he's like, I want to go build shit that kills people for the rest of my life and take over the world. It's crazy. Crazy. So there's a little update for these companies here. Let's see what the chat got to say. Abraxas was developed Trapwire. Also developed Trapwire, a counterterrorism system designed to detect patterns of pre-attack surveillance activity and provide early warnings to protect critical infrastructure. No shit. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Abraxas, he's supposed to be like he's the God above God, and he's the God above God in Gnosticism. So we're going to get into the Mystery Babylon series. That is more Bill Cooper. So we are not done with Bill Cooper. We're just done with Behold a Pale Horse. We're going to get into a lot more of his work. Mystery Babylon is a great series. If you haven't heard it, I probably read it or listened to it rather a few times. And there's about 35 episodes of that he did. And I'd love to just do a revamp of it. I feel like, nobody's done that. I think it would be great to kind of do that. So that's going to be coming up. We'll be doing a nice revamp of the Mystery Babylon. So otherwise, outside of that, let's see what else we got here. We got some Praxine. That's the place. Let's look up Praxine, guys, because that was the place, right? Tech country. All right, hold on. I'll bring you in here once I figure out that this is it. Oh, that could be it. Speaking of AT&T, there's a huge, creepy, high-security AT&T building in my metro that looks crazy. This is our boy N Wet. He's hanging out with us. Whoa! You're crazy for putting that in there. Are you out of your mind? All right. Well, fuck. It won't let me copy that. So let me see here. 5,405. Hold on. Let's try this. All right, let's check this shit out. All right, I'm gonna put you up here. All right, we're gonna check out our boys. We're gonna check out our boy's house. Apparently, I'm just kidding. All right. What is this place? 66202. Let's see if we got the right place. Yep, that's it. Will this do satellite? Yes. And will it let me walk on the ground? Do I have this set up to where you're looking? Good. All right. Can I walk on the ground? Let's see here. Shit. Come on, let me walk. Fuck. All right. Well, let's just look at a picture of it. That'll be easier. Shit. Where's the tower? Hold on. Let's see if he's got something to say about this. What's this tower here? You got to look at the ground level. Let's see here. Shit. This isn't whatever comes with this. The maps I'm on right now is not the type of maps that I need to like look at it. So that's kind of shitty. All right, well, fuck. Maybe we'll have to do that another time. I'll check that out. So what is the tower? You can go ahead and tell me what that tower is. What it's like. All right, shit. Oops. My apologies. We got a little bandwidth issue right now. Okay. Little bandwidth issues. What I was gonna pull up was this. So hold on one second. Tech billionaires are building their own private cities. Elon Musk, Mark Cuban, Mark Zuckerberg, and other tech billionaires are building private towns and compounds, reshaping communities from Texas to Hawaii. So this is like the patchwork kind of shit in the making. Having 1 billion isn't enough these days to be seen among the richest of the rich. You now need your own private sanctuary. So Musk has one previously called Boca Chica. SpaceX president, 12 years as mayor. Oh yeah, Starbase, where he elected that guy as mayor. I forgot about that. The vote stirred controversy, and I guess he's got himself a little place, dude. He's got his own mayor there. Musk also controls Snailbrook, an unincorporated town near Bastrop, about 350 miles north of Starbase. The area includes the SpaceX site that produces Starlink receiver technology. It's funny because it reminds me of Joe Rogan was talking about doing this, getting compounds. So yeah, dude, rich people just want to like completely shut themselves off from other people. It's crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, we didn't have too much crazy shit to go into today. Just kind of hanging and banging. Let's go ahead and listen to that. So I guess this is Congress where they're talking about, yeah, they're aware. Dude, so I don't know if you guys saw this. William Ramsey. He wow. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is right there, man. But that's Eccles, which is this dude that was part of like the West Memphis Three. And he he somehow knows Amanda Knox. I mean, what the fuck? You can't even make that up. I mean, both of them killed somebody and got away with it pretty much. Definitely in some kind of death cult. I forgot what it is, the details of it. He knows so much more. Such an expert. Friday, he's going to be coming on. We'll be doing a live at about this time, Friday. So I'll try to get him to talk about some of that because this just kind of came out recently. It's very crazy. If you're not familiar, very nuts. Appreciate you, Ray Ray. A little bit of choppy tonight. We're just kind of going through whatever, doing a little research together tonight. So just hanging out. Nothing crazy. Oh my God. I just realized I wasn't showing you that the whole time. We're going to go back to it. Don't worry. All right. So look at this. Having dinner with my friend Amanda Knox. Please support her. And this is this Eccles dude who was part of the Damien Eccles. West Memphis 3. We're going to try to get William Ramsey to talk about it Friday, like I said, but very crazy that they know each other hanging out. Both killed somebody, got away with it. What the hell? Can't even make that up. And so I realized I didn't show you this either a minute ago because I wasn't sharing. So I'll go ahead and show this to you. Dude, what's crazy about that is I had somebody who owns an NGO who wanted to come on the podcast, and they have pretty much like a thing that you come and help out around the world in different third world countries. And a bunch of them I looked up, I was like, okay, well, how many of them have sex trafficking? Because a bell rang off. And so I looked that up, and all of them had very high concentrations of sex trafficking. Now, maybe it wasn't her NGO that had anything to do with it, but I will say that it was out of orphanages a lot, right? As you would expect. And her website says, we don't work with orphanages. So therefore, she's clearly trying to separate herself from working with orphanages for a reason. So I'm like, man, dude. And I kind of pushed forward like, hey, we'll probably be questioning you about some of this. And she was like, yeah, probably not a good fit or whatever, which I thought was a little bit sus as well. So we got a little bit of weird inquiries coming through, and I'm always very transparent about like, look, man, I'm gonna ask some questions and figure it out. But see what their perspective is on it. But of course, usually they don't want to talk about it, and that isn't necessarily guilt, but it's a little whatever. Hey, okay. But yeah, tonight was just kind of a little choppy one. We did a little bit of Learned Elders of Zion. I more wanted to connect about what they talked about doing and what they said they were going to do. It seems like they have done. We're living through it now. A lot of people are super beholden to Israel as well. And yeah, so I think I went over the Laura Luna. I really wanted to show you guys that video of Laura Luna, but pretty much she's bringing up the Book of Enoch on Patrick David podcast. And it's so funny to me because, first of all, grandpa's a Nazi. She changes her name. She was like a stripper, and now she works in the Congress. She's like blocking the Epstein files, going to Israel, comes here, talks about how there's no foreign government working in our government. Like, I'm going to believe her. And then on top of that, she's talking about the Book of Enoch, which is 100% just the fallen angels. They worship the fallen. That's my point. Don't forget that. They worship the fallen. And so that's mostly it. Like I said, Unit 8200 with the Palantir, Total Information Awareness. Don't forget Project Esther and the Canary Mission are building a list on anti-Semitic people. Don't get baited out there. Don't get yourself caught up. But yeah, I mean, that with BlackRock taking over the WEF, I mean, they've taken it all over. And so I'm going to be dropping this week on Wednesday a bonus episode. It was on the Patreon. I'm going to put it on at least half of it I'll put on this week. You got to hear the rest on Patreon. And, just a little clip, look, half the show, and it's Israel and the Antichrist is the name. I think that you all will enjoy it. This was kind of a segue into that. I think that's a great deep dive for you. And wet, right on, dude. Subscribe to the channel and Patreon. Hell yeah. I hope you enjoy. We got lots of bangers coming. The book clubs, by the way, you do have the option. I will put a StreamYard link on the Patreon. And when I do a book club, and you do have the option to come hang out, talk about a book, talk about what we're talking about with us up here, right on stage with us. So you could think about doing that, up to you. But I appreciate y'all. Tinfoil hat. Appreciate the people coming through from there. And what came from there. So that's awesome. So yeah. We look forward to next Monday. Next Monday, we're going to start off on a new book. I don't know. I'll put a poll up on Patreon. I'll put a poll up on this episode whenever we post it on Spotify and everything too, I think. Or just comment what book next. Secret Teachings of All Ages, Tragedy and Hope, Secret History of the World. Those are the three. Any of those three. If you've never heard of those books, amazing books. Those are amazing books. We're talking ultra deep dives. Tragedy and Hope, Secret Teachings of All Ages, and The Secret History of the World. Amazing books. Very symbolic. It's going to get us into our Mystery Babylon series. It's going to be great. But yeah, I appreciate people that came and hung out. Appreciate everybody that's listening afterwards whenever this is posted. You guys have a great day, and thanks for just kind of hanging out, because that's all we're really doing is just looking at shit, just doing it together. Why not? So I'll see you all next time. Peace out.